Am I in charge? Are you in charge?
You can be in charge.
You want me to be in charge? Okay. My name is Kathleen Lisson. I'm a lymphedema therapist. This is my friend, Peggy MacArthur. And I want to talk about medical gaslighting, and I want to talk about getting GLP-1 agonists. And I want to talk to Peggy about that because she has experienced both. And the first one in spades. Absolutely. So Peggy, maybe we could start to talk. And I was thinking about this a little earlier today. Of everyone I know, you have been on the most different um, eating plans eating plans I've never even heard of. You have done so much research and eaten from one side of the food groups to the exact other side of the food groups. I'm in San Diego. I never knew about peace pies. And then Peggy took us there, and that is raw and vegan. But then yeah, but then I was in LA one year, and we met, and she was eating just meat out of a bag, out of a little sandwich bag. And I feel like everything in between. I think there's some alkaline water involved. Like, you've just gone through a very long journey of trying to see what is going to help your digestive system to work correctly.
Yeah, yeah. So I've had lymphedema for 26 years now. It started on my left leg, and then it's progressed to my abdomen and my right leg. And I learned about 16 years ago that diet really could make a big difference in how my swelling was, how my, how I could control my lymphedema. So I tried all the things, and you have to remember, Kathleen, I'm OG. This is before there was anything on the internet at all, and so it was, we had a group of, about 100 of us around the world that would like, have you tried this? Have you heard this? Have you tried this? And we tried and tried, and then then as the internet kind of got more and more information, I tried lots of things. I was plant based for about 10 years, raw plant based for 5 of those 10 years, and then that caused me some issues, and I unwillingly but necessarily, I guess, swapped all the way over to carnivore. And so I was probably had prepared my own food other than sea salt at the time. So yeah, I probably did show up with my little baggie pre-prepared meat. But yeah, I've always been very, very conscious of what I eat. I try to eat really clean. I don't eat soda. I don't eat processed foods. I don't, I don't. I guess I would drink soda, but I don't drink soda either. Processed foods. And a couple of years ago, I had COVID, and it spun me into a whirlwind of just funk. I had a really bad flare up with my lymphedema. I started gaining weight, and none of my tricks, I'd always have those tricks, when I'd start a flare up, I'd do this, I'd do a juice, I'd do a cleanse, I'd do a fast, I'd do something. And it always worked, and nothing worked. And so, on top of the lymphedema, I have gained 70 pounds in the last 2 years. And 3 years ago, I was the lightest that I'd ever been in my adult life. So it's just been like a whirlwind. And stress plays a big part in your lymphedema. And, it's really hard to love your body. I've done a lot of work, self help work, and, just to love my body because I walk around with a big old leg, So just that in itself has been an emotional struggle and a lot of work. But then to add this extra weight on that I don't want to have, there's nothing wrong with people that live in large bodies. I just didn't particularly want to be one of those people. And so it was a lot. It's been a lot, because literally I'm not one of those people that mess around. Like when I go on a plan, I'm very strict with it. So it was very frustrating, to say the least.
So then you went for a visit with Dr. Syed, and I remember I was like at the gym and I open up my phone and I get this very funny text message from you. So how was that? Or I guess when you were walking in, like what are your previous experiences been with like seeing physicians, seeing doctors and trying to talk about the medical issues that you are dealing with?
I'm going to read that text message because I think I should. I pulled it up. I said, "Hey, so we need to talk about your little friend, your little doctor friend. I don't I don't know what his problem is, but he asked me questions and actually listened to me. Um, these are not things that I expect from a medical doctor. Are you sure he's even licensed?" And then I said, "He seemed to think that he could help me, and he actually wanted to help me without judging me or making me feel like shit." Uh, That's And then I said, and then it just got weird. So yeah, I've had, I think other times after seeing doctors, in years past, I've literally called you when I was laying in my closet in fetal position, bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
I think there was that phone call one. So yeah, it's been 26 years of doctors saying, um, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just fat, lose weight. I mean, when I'm only fat in my left leg, that's kind of weird that they think that that's going to be the solution. And also, really, no shit. I know that. I'm trying to do that. So, but it's been, yeah, a lot of, you know, and doctors that I thought I respected that are like, oh, you don't even have lymphedema. It's like, well, that's weird because I've had it for a really long time. Um,
Hmm.
and so I think some of the issues is because I do work so hard to take care of my legs. I have a lot of fibrotic tissue in my ankle and my toes and my foot, but I also massage every day and I work it with foam and I'm constantly trying to not let it get on top of me. And I always say I have lymphedema. Lymphedema doesn't have me. But like I said, the last few years it's been tough. It's been
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah. So what was it like to actually go and talk to Dr. Syed? So it was online?
It was online, and
Yeah.
first of all, I felt like, um, I you know, uh, there's so much stigma around going to a plastic surgeon. There's so much stigma about like that in itself. So I was like, well, I don't know if and I see in my mind the people that go to plastic surgeons are like the the little tiny cute rich people that like really don't need anything anyway.
Hmm.
So I'm like, here I am at my worst.
With
You know,
real medical problems. Yeah. Yeah.
we weren't supposed to get emotional. I talked to myself before this. I was like, Kathleen's going to get you emotional. Don't fall for it. So anyway, yes, Peggy has emotions, especially about this. You know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But
what I like about why I really like Dr. Syed, and I'm really happy that not only is he doing plastic surgery, but he's also doing a supervised clinic with the GLP-1s, is that he has chosen to focus on breast implant illness. And I have chosen to focus on breast implant illness because even though you think like these three diseases are different, breast implant illness and lymphedema and lipedema. They have an amazing coincidence that I think now that I'm interested in all three of them, this is just my fate. Like people don't think they exist. Like
Right.
people who, like the surgeons who do the surgery, and then after that surgery, people get lymphedema. Many of, not all, but many of those surgeons don't believe that their surgery gives people, not their surgery. Like people have lymphedema, but it's not from their surgery. And like lipedema is just widely like no one, especially 10 years ago, like no one actually believes lipedema actually exists. Like these are, just people that need to go on a diet. And so there's a lot of medical gaslighting with lipedema. And now that I'm learning more and helping clients with breast implant illness, it's the same thing. It's this is a condition, and so many of the surgeons that put in the breast implant do not believe that people actually get breast implant illness. So that's the first thing. And it's mostly women, and that makes me really interested. All these three things: the medical gaslighting and the mostly women based issues, conditions, is what interests me medically about these issues. And I like to see what I can draw my experience from one. Can it help another? So I really like the fact that Dr. Syed is, you can go into his office and he will believe you in your symptoms if you have breast implant illness, and because he does the explant surgeries. So I would like to think that if you would go in and tell him about another medical condition, that he would not gaslight you and tell you it's all in your mind and send you away. Um, so that's why I really trusted him enough to give his name to you. And I'm very, very happy that you had that positive experience with him. And of course, we were joking. It was all sarcasm in the message. Like, he's double board certified. He graduated from Harvard Medical School. Like, he is an actual doctor, though he asks many questions that make you think he's a little too understanding to be an actual doctor. But he is, and I really liked when I met with him in person. I liked his personality. I felt that he was very patient. He was very personable. He had an excellent bedside manner. And so I trusted him enough to give his name to one of my close friends that's been close for years with me. We've met, and yeah.
We went into the office yesterday and I got my first shot, and my husband went with me because I live far enough away that I'll be giving myself shots. I won't be going in every week, and so my husband went to learn how to do the shots and so forth because I'm actually not going to give myself a shot. I'm a big one anyway. But the nurse was like, do you have any questions? Do you want him to come in? And my husband was like, yes. And he came in and did not feel rushed, answered every single question that Merrick asked, um, more with more information than actually necessary. I was like, let's just get this shot and get over with. But no, it was really really good, and he really talked to us about how the medication works and why it would be helpful for somebody like me with lymphedema, and how, although it's not FDA approved for reducing inflammation, there's a lot of research out there showing that it does reduce inflammation, and that's a huge problem for me. I My inflammation markers every time I get my blood tested is ridiculous. I'm very, that's something that is probably a lot of the reason that I'm in as much pain as I am, is because of all the inflammation. Inflammation is painful. So, these are things that made me decide to do something because I am in so much pain. This weight is obviously causing some of the pain, but when nothing that I've done, basically not eating and still not losing any weight, like there's got to be a something. And so I had to kind of like swallow my ego and realize, like, this isn't about vanity. I actually have a medical condition, and this medication probably going to help me. I don't know. I'm literally at 24 hours in now, but
Mhm.
um, I have very high hopes that this is actually gonna be something that can help.
Yeah. So they start you on a lower dose, and then are they starting, and then they're going to up it as
Yep,
you
then
get?
they up it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the next 4 months, they'll continue to up it to the plateaued dosage, and then we'll go from there. However long we need to be on it. There's it really depends on your body and how your body's reacting to whether that there is an option to even bump it up after you get to the recommended highest dose to bump it up one more. Sometimes people don't need to bump it up; their body's reacting. So it's just really we'll just have it's a waiting right now. This
Yeah.
is this is just kind of we'll wait and see. This is the first step of this journey.
Yes. Yes. So how do you feel in the first 24 hours?
So I did have a couple of the side effects like early on, like in fact I googled it like how soon is this supposed to come on, and they're like, oh yeah, within hours. I was like, awesome.
Hmm.
Um, I just had a little like GI tract uncomfortness but that's already passed. Like that was yesterday, and today I'm fine. I what he said was true. You can't eat a lot at a time. You have to, even drinking water, you can't like guzzle a bottle of water. I tend to like forget to drink, so I'll like chug water. And
Mm.
I got up in the middle of the night last night to go to the bathroom, as I do, and get a drink of water. And I kind of chugged a little bit of water, I guess, and I was uncomfortable. Like I could
Mm.
feel like, ooh, this I can't do that. I need to take smaller drinks of water. So today when I got up, I remembered that because I couldn't go back to sleep for about an hour and a half because I was just uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
And so I was like, all right, that's interesting. So I just ate very small portions today. And I'm fine. I had a little bit of heartburn that passed really quick, which I'm assuming is just my body kind of getting used to everything, because not only does it slow down your digestive system so you feel fuller, but it also does something with the hormones to help your blood sugar stay level so you're not always
Mhm.
peaking and spiking. And so that's I feel more regulated already. It just because I've always had a little bit of hypoglycemia. So I've always like, oh, I have to eat something. I need some protein. I need to make sure that my blood sugar doesn't drop. And I don't feel like that today at all. I'm like, wow, this is cool. This
Cool.
is what
Yeah.
having a regulated blood sugar feels like. That's weird.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
said
fantastic.
I very early on this, and already feeling that way. So hopefully that will just, as it builds up in my system, continue to
Yep.
be good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But no
So,
negative side effects. I mean, I like, me, I hate taking anything because I'm horrified that it's going to make my legs swell, or,
yep.
and and so nothing like that at all. So that's good.
Good. Good. And then, so what did you do for self care this morning for the lymphedema?
Same as always. I got up, showered, laid on my chi machine, massaged my leg, and then put on my juzo garment.
Hmm.
So that's, I spend about an hour and a half getting my leg together every day, or my
Yep.
legs together every day.
Yep. And that went just typical, just like
Just
usual.
typical. Yeah, just
Okay.
typical. Yeah.
Good. Good.
So
So
I
my concept is to check in with you like every 2, 3, 4 weeks and see, kind of record as you're going through the journey to see what your experience is, especially with your lymphedema and how your lymphedema is interacting with the
right.
new
I'm
medication.
really curious as well, because if this does, help with the inflammation, that's definitely going to be a game changer.
Yeah. And then, so when's the last time you had like a blood test for
I
inflammation?
did a blood test last week, and
Okay.
I did a full panel. um, I do a full panel tomorrow for my kidney doctor. I thanks to thanks to some wonderful, insightful doctors that I had in the past that said, take ibuprofen, take lots of ibuprofen. I
Mhm.
see a
Yeah.
kidney doctor every 4 months, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to get that panel and then also let him know, like, hey, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I'm
But my
interested to,
are, yeah, they're not bad. Like my kidneys are not in a dangerous place, and
yeah.
that was checked before he took me on as a client. There was a panel taken, so we have baselines, and
Mhm.
there is a chance of kidney issues with this shot, but it's due to dehydration. So that's why I'm being very conscious about drinking throughout the day, small amounts, so that I stay
Yeah.
hydrated and allow that to happen.
And it'll be interesting to hear what the kidney doctor says about um, his experience with clients in the past that are on
Right.
these. Because I've heard, but I'd love to hear it from an expert that this is, if someone has a kidney issue, like this should be something that they should look into.
Yeah. So I will see him. I get my blood drawn tomorrow, and then I'll see him next week. And I also am excited to see what he's going to say about what I've decided to do. But
Yeah.
I think it's going to be positive because he's also very frustrated with my with swelling. He's every time I
Yes.
go in to see him with my kidneys, he's checking my legs, and he's like, okay, well, I don't like this. I'm like, oh, I don't either.
Yeah. That makes all of
Hey,
us.
we are on the same page, sir.
Yes.
I too do not like it.
Yes. So good. Thank you so much for sharing.
Uh, Thank you for poking me and making me share. So
All right.
this will be part one.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay.